Hi, good
Hello.
morning,
Good morning.
Gerardo. Thank you for coming today.
Thank-
And can you first please tell us a little about yourself and your special needs?
Okay, yes. My name is Gerardo Gray. My disability goes back 11 years, going almost a month. I was in a motor vehicle accident. I was in driving. The accident, the driver was going around 90 miles per hour, fell asleep behind the wheel, made the car swerve on off the road onto a ditch. When the car crashed, I was then ejected from the car for over 30 feet,
Oh, wow.
hitting my head on the ground, resulting in when I'm diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury,
Traumatic brain injury.
which results in a coma. I was in coma for about 3 months.
3 months.
Yes. And from that point, I lost the ability to walk, talk, you name it. You name it, I was a bigger baby. And I had to recover again, everything back. And
Wow.
that's basically my disability. Of course, there's symptoms with that it takes a long time to talk about, but if you want to know more, I can share it. I don't care.
Okay. So, what is the impact on you? And have you registered with AEC?
Like when I was in school here, because I graduated in May. But when I was in school, I was in AAC, but before that, I went to Cal State East Bay. I was in the Department of Rehabilitation Services over there.
Okay.
And then I went to Cal State Northridge before that
Northridge. Okay.
for also the same services as AAC. That's what I did, and basically, like, they all help me. But like, I'm not getting biased, but here, especially in San Jose State, the AAC, I had a little difficulty with them. They weren't really accommodational to me, and I had to fight for my rights, and I'm injured. Like, and that's the thing. My injury is rare, and so a lot of people, professors, AC, other centers, don't know about my injury that well. And
maybe you can tell us about what is your symptoms or condition
okay.
like. Help us understand.
Okay. Yes. When it comes to education-wise,
Yes.
I have a lot of people with brain injuries, me included, have a hard time intellectually. We hard time like remembering things, writing things physically, and just like understanding what is said or what is read to us. That's why a lot of people like me included, and I might not be as bad as others, but me included, I have to be told what to do, what the assignment is more than once, twice. And for instance, my professors, say I have professors we went over material, I'll make sure like every week, every 2 weeks, every week basically, go to the office hours, I can have one-on-one time with them so they can help me understand what we did that day or that week.
So the one-on-one office hour.
Yeah.
Now, do you use any kind of assistive technology to help you study?
Yes, before I did. Before I was Kurzweil 3000.
Kurzweil.
And like
3000.
exactly. And if people don't know what that is, Kurzweil is a computer app that reads the information back to you and highlights. It highlights the words, the sentences, so they can read it back to you. So you can follow the words.
All right.
And know exactly what
so
it's
saying.
saying.
So it's a screen reader that also do the word tracking for you.
Exactly. It's really good. Like, it costs a lot of money, but it's really helpful.
Who provides you with this Kurzweil?
I had to out of pocket because not.
You have to buy yourself.
Yes, and like before in the kind of injury, even now they have a Department of Rehabilitation. That's good, but like for me, it wasn't good because they knew me, they interviewed me at that time, which I was in a wheelchair and everything.
Okay.
They didn't want to help me because they thought that my injury made it hard for me to do my major, which was kinesiology major. But I was in a wheelchair then, and I'm like, don't like they're having limitations on my recovery. Now I'm walking, and I graduated in kinesiology
Wow.
without their help, and that's why I'm trying to let people know.
Okay.
Don't limit yourselves to what doctors and everyone says.
I see.
Go beyond.
Go beyond. So still help us understand, how do you study when maybe you go to the class,
Okay.
and then what?
Okay, two things. I go to class, and like we write notes, and I can't write physically. I can't write, so I have a note taker with me.
You have a note taker with you in the classroom.
Yes, the professors tells the students note taker they get either before they got money, like, or by now they can get pre-registration
Okay.
if they note takers.
So the note taker was kind of arranged between the AEC and your professor, right?
Yes,
For
yes,
each class. Okay.
exactly. So I did note taker, they would do note takes. At the same time, though, I would take my own notes.
You take your own notes.
I can't write fast. I can't write sloppy, but I take my own notes, and I see my notes and their notes and combine them.
Okay, compare.
Yeah.
Can you record the class? Have you?
I can record the class, but I find it easier, more memorable if I hear the professor and write
yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good.
Because hearing it works and everything, but I would have to hear like 4 or 5 times to get understand it.
So what other, thinking back, what other support you wish you would have from the professor or from university?
Well, most professors helped me out, but there were some that they were too stubborn. They were like, they only wanted it their way, and like I told them, like, I'm not, like, for instance, here's a good example.
Okay.
One semester I took English, a course English 1B,
English 1B.
and with the professor I argued, or every professor argues with me, but she argued with me a lot. She totally said that just because I'm not, don't blame on my disability, you're just lazy. I'm like, I'm not lazy. I'm disabled. Like, and people don't understand. Like, I have an injury, intellectual injury, that makes it hard for me to do other things that quote unquote normal people do. So I'm like, I'm not lazy. I'm just. It takes more time for me to do something.
Okay.
And I had arguments with her. So other professors, I just want them to know the individual before they just mark them off. Because once they knew me, I'm like one of the professors, like Karen Jeffrey, Jennifer Shackner, all them who know me, they know how I work, how I am. They know I do my material. It might take a longer time, but I'll do it.
When you say longer time, should they give you more, double the time?
Like so actually, yeah, some professors give me double time. Like for instance, let's say we have a class assignment that day to do. They'll give some professors back at Kelsey Northridge. They'll say, "Oh, to turn it tomorrow, turn it, email me later on today." I'm okay with that because gives me more time to understand the material and everything. They'll do that.
Okay. So you would ask the professor basically just give you more time to understand you.
Yes,
Okay.
like just normally, and like with that said, I had to advocate a lot for myself, like, cause the AC, they didn't really put it out there. My information was good because it's more liability reasons. They don't want to put my information out there for professors. But then again, I'm like, you have to be my advocates.
I see. So you were hoping that AEC or someone would advocate for yourself and that you do it?
Yes, because a lot of people with brain injuries cannot do what I'm doing intellectually. So they need help, And I didn't have the help. I had to actually do it myself. And I guess in a weird way it's good because I'm this far advanced. But it sucks, not everyone has the same same social atmosphere as I do.
So if you have other fellow students who happen to kind of have the same situation like you do, what would you advise them?
I'd advise them just build a circle, like talk to professor one-on-one, make sure they know you.
Okay.
Don't go to class every day.
Okay.
Just try your hardest, even if it's hard for you, because some people are not lazy, they're just tired, because brain injury people are tired, more slow, more tired. Just try to be there every day, make sure you talk to professor, email them, build a great bond with them, so they know you, and they know what you need, what accommodation you need, adaptation you need, and then once they know you, who you are, they can help you instead of going to the AAC, because AAC is just an umbrella. They just go from what they know. I will email the professors before the class.
Okay.
Let them know who I am. So on the first day I met them, I would talk to them one-on-one, like one-on-one, so they know. Put an email, a face email, and then that's when they know who I am, my disability.
Okay.
What I need to do. Yeah.
So before class start, write an email to your professor and describe your needs.
Yeah.
And then during, you just keep on going to all the office hours.
Always call the office hours.
I see.
And that's why I would kind of want elders more studying for them. I would want them to know a lot more definitions of injury.
Is there any other story or challenges you would like to share? I can see you have really been a strong advocate for yourself.
I can tell you a whole lot of stories. Because that's the thing. I went to 3 different schools, and I had 3 different, hands down, Cal St. Arthur's, one of the best disability centers I've had, because the professors and the disability center helped me a lot. They helped me a lot. East Bay, Cal State East Bay was okay, not great, but the AC I had more trouble here.
And maybe can I ask you to explain when you say some help you a lot, what exactly did they help you?
For instance, Cal St. Arthur's, they would the professor would talk to me. Our first time with the disability center, they know who I was. Then they would tell the professor this student you have this semester, or talk to him or her. Then he would talk to the disability center. And then we'll just rearrange everything from ourselves. The professor would talk to me, the disability center would talk to me. They would arrange everything with us rather than just individual here.
Okay, so let me paraphrase to repeat what you said, if you don't mind.
I'm okay with that.
So what you did, you find those who help you is you talk with the professor, and then the professor talked with AEC, and that's how AEC were able to help you.
Yeah.
But how exactly did the other AEC help you?
For instance, they would first talk to, say I need a special accommodation for tutoring or something.
Tutoring.
They would go with me and talk to me, and they would talk to the professor, seeing you have someone tutor or would you want to tutor him? And almost every professor say I'll tutor him, because they know who I was by then.
Okay, so you are hoping someone will help you to find out the exact way, the accommodation methods to help you.
Exactly. Another thing, here's a good example, now I remember. Other than CSA, the professors, I was there when I had to take a test, or write a for test. They knew I can write. It was hard for me to put my thoughts in paper and everything. What they would do, professor would have a special time setting for my testing to go to office hours and just verbally test me.
Right.
And some professors did it here, like Jennifer Shackler, I think. Yes, we did it here. Kim Jeffrey also. So we did that. But over there, almost every professor did that with me.
I see.
Every.
So the special testing accommodation.
Exactly. I need a quiet room, like to test, right?
Yes.
One day, like back in season, they had a quiet, a quiet room, like because of my injury, I get distracted. Literally, I hear everything.
Through perseverance and your own courage to
I
fight
try.
for yourself, you graduated.
Yes, I did.
Right. So, well, thank you. So, thank you very much for your time to sharing your story, and hopefully, we all can learn from you. I'm sure we will.
Hopefully, and in addition, and you can tell, ask anyone for Count Jeffrey, anyone who knows me, Dr. Masucci, I'm here to help, and I'm here for people to actually know me, tell me, not only physically but intellectually. I
Basically, to get to know you and the kind of a help accommodation you need,
Exactly.
and that's the most important thing.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Giovanni.
No problem, no problem.